So in this video, we're going to show you how to replace the Reed E4 Plus battery. The battery itself is sealed within this casing underneath here with 13 Allen key bolts, keeping it nice and watertight. So first of all, we need to make sure that the scooter is turned off, which it is because there's no lighting being shown here from the underdeck LEDs. And then we need to unscrew all 13 bolts and remove them. We recommend using magnetic tools and have a little tray to pop them in. So now we've undone all 13 screws, take the last one out, which I'll set to the side, and then we can take the battery plate off. As you can see, you've got a seal going all the way around here, which is what helps with its waterproof rating. Inside we have the most visible points being the battery and the controller, both of which are screwed to the aluminium deck itself with anti-vibration padding to stop any knocks from affecting the hardware. So now we're inside our E4 Plus e-scooter. To remove the battery, there are 4 mounting points using a 3mm Allen key to remove it. So we're just going to go ahead and undo these. Again, just double check that your scooter is off in case anybody's knocked it on when doing this. Okay, so that's all 4 bolts undone. So what we're going to do then is lift the battery carefully out. And you can see it's connected via 2 sets of wires here. One goes to the controller and one is from the charging point to the battery itself. Okay, so now the battery is unbolted from the deck itself. There are 2 clips to undo. One is to the power from the battery to the controller, so we just undo that as so. And then the next is from the charger to the battery itself, which is a normal electronic clip there. So we'll unclip that and we can remove the battery entirely. So if the battery is showing a fault, the first thing to do is to check what the voltage is. Now, obviously don't do this at home if you're not too familiar doing so. Just take it back to your retailer and they will do it for you, or they will return it to us to do it for you. But what we're going to do here is to show you the battery runs at 36 volts. If for any reason it's showing significantly less than that, then we know some of the cells have got a problem and will need repairing or replacing. So what we're going to do, we're going to put the multimeter on to the right voltage for a start, and then we're just going to check the current voltage of the battery. So as you can see, this is currently returning a voltage of 38 volts because this is a brand new battery in obviously very good condition and all the cells are present and correct. So now we know that the battery is safely disconnected, we can swap it out for another one if we pretend that this is no good. And here we go. So what we're going to do, we're just going to drop it in and then reconnect it back up. So connecting the power supply to the battery and then connecting the battery back up to the controller. Okay, before we bolt it into place, I just want to turn the scooter on to ensure that the lights and what have you come on so that we know the battery has reconnected correctly. So I'm just going to turn it on down here. And we can see that the light has come on, and you can check the display if you wish as well. But here you can see that the LED lights are in operation, therefore we know it's worked correctly. So I'm going to turn the scooter off again before we start playing around with tools in there. So we've got the 4 bolts here, we're just going to pop those back into place to ensure that the battery is bolted down to the deck. Do all 4 up loosely to start with before giving them a final tension. Then screw the back 2 in. One thing to note, to be careful of, is that you make sure that when you put the battery back into place, you don't crimp any wires accidentally, such as the lighting wires here when you screw the battery back down. So then we're going to give a final bit of tension to each of the 4 screws. Okay, then what we need to do is just to push all these wires down to make sure that we can put the deck back on without any of these causing any sort of obstruction. So we're just going to push them down, make sure it's all nice and flat, like so. And then the deck is ready to pop back on, as so. And then we're going to grab all 13 of these screws, pop them back in, and away we go. As we did with the battery, just pop them all on loosely to start with at various places, just to ensure that you're not going to crimp any cables as you do it up.